from the lighter side of pest control. This is the Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with your hosts, Jack and Brad. It's time for the Tales from the Crawl Space Flies in the... Hold on a second. Flies in the Ointment episode. I need to call someone.
Flies in the Vaseline, oh, sometimes it blows my mind. Keep getting stuck here all the time. Oh, God, man.
Is it me? Search for things that we can't see.
Damn, man. Yep. The Vaseline song by Shirley Temple's Pussy.
Wow.
now known as Stone Temple Pilots. You did know that story, right? That was their first name. They had to change it in order to go mainstream.
Oh, I did not know it was Shirley Temple's
Pussy. STP. Yeah, actually, they were known as Shirley Temple's Pussy, and then they had to change it to Stone Temple Pilots in order to go mainstream. It was fucking awesome.
Shit, that's fucking awesome.
So, anyway, welcome once again to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. I, of course, am your amicable and affable host, Brad Harvey. Dark Overlord of PCHD, Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group. And with me, as always, is the beautiful and goateed Jack Starray.
Hey
Jack,
there.
How you doing, brother?
Hey there, hi there, ho there. How y'all doing? Good to be here. Excited for the show. Excited for this podcast-filled weekend we're going to have. So it's going to be great.
Oh,
looking forward to it.
The next 2 weeks is a veritable juggernaut of podcastage for Jack and myself. Tonight we're doing this. And then tomorrow we're going to be the esteemed guests on our sister podcast, Pestrogen, with the beautiful Candace and the beautiful Jenny. So yeah, I'm totally looking forward to that.
Oh yeah,
and Bustin' Boys, welcome to the show, buddy. Hello from Wisconsin, land of cheese.
Don't you know?
Cheese bags. I hope you're a cheese bag, man, because that would be perfect for a guy from Wisconsin.
Don't you know?
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then the following week on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time U.S., Jack and I are going to be the esteemed guests on Beauties and Beasties. It's a podcast that comes out of the U.K., and Lex and Sean are the hosts, and we're really looking forward to talking to them. I've seen many of their episodes, and they're great. I mean, they lay it down, man. So it's great. So
you think they're ready for us?
Are they ready for us? I think they're ready for us. And, for fuck's sake, I hope they are.
For fuck's sake. That's right. For fuck's sake.
So yeah. I'm looking forward to talking to those two guys next week, and tomorrow I'm looking forward to talking to those two gals.
Nice. Very nice.
Going to be a very busy, just juggernaut of podcastage.
How was your past week, my friend?
I have returned to the field, Jack, after a long 5-month hiatus from being, not in the field. I'm in the field. I'm in a different capacity now. Right now, I've gone into, I am the very first salesman for my beloved Trio Pest Control. So I'm out there trying to get the name out currently. Basically going out and introducing myself to places, passing cards out. I've probably passed out more cards in the last 2 days than I have in the last 5 years of my whole pest control career.
Well, damn.
By the time this is all said and done, more people are going to know the existence of my beloved Trio Pest Control than ever before. Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate being. It's good to be back, man. So I'm really looking forward to helping grow the business out there and do it in a way that helps everybody out. It helps the customers and helps the techs, because I've been there, done that as far as a technician, and I made it my solemn vow not to fuck them over.
Good man. Oh,
Anywho,
hey, there you go.
Hippie's Pop. Good to see you rolling. Hey, thanks for the love, everybody. It is really good to be back out in the field. Flies, Jack. We're talking flies tonight.
Yes, sir, we are. I was dealing with some of them little bastards out there today. For some reason, they just love a sweaty man's. They just love a sweaty man's.
I love a sweaty man. It's the pheromones you're putting out.
I think it is, because I was building a big ass grill today, and Tyler want to make sure that you should always carry a pocket full of termites for upsells.
That's good to know. I always keep a little apple slice in my pocket with them too to kind of keep them moist.
Pocket termite. But no, I was putting together a big old grill, offset smoker grill, and got that done today. So feel all manly. Got me a big grill now.
He got you. Yeah, he's got charcoal grill. He's a real man, not me. I'm a fake man because I have a gas grill, but I do have a charcoal grill. It's just in the mini barn.
You have a grill with propane and propane accessories.
Yeah, here's what those butane grills. Butane is one of the bastard gases. Oh man, I love it. I have a guy. We have a guy at my beloved trio that his nickname is Gribble, and Bill just hired somebody named Dale. So I'm just always around like, damn it, Dale.
Are you a CIA agent?
Are you attempting to know me?
Oh my God! Now have you heard of any? Has William the Merciful been dealing with any fly calls? You have any
fly calls
accounts that are a problematic fly account?
Depends on the fly. Depends on the speakies of fly. So we do quite a bit of commercial. So the drain flies, the fruit flies, all that shit, always an issue, especially in your stanky and some of your more skanky ass establishments that that always consider the pest control company to be the alternative for soap. And we get some of them. I'll tell you what, though, in the last, I would say very recently, back in the old days, we had some really good fly baits out. We had, Muscicide, Fly Tech, all that foul smelling shit, and the little granules that kind of burnt your arm if you got it on you.
Gold sticks. Got the
gold sticks, yeah. And what was that? That golden Maurin shit that everybody was using to poison raccoons instead of for flies. That was the gilded age of fly control, but no more. And for the longest time, we didn't have anything that was worth a damn. And then all of a sudden, the good folks at Max Force came out with a pretty good granular bait. And it did the job. It's one of those things you could put it in those little stations that would hang in the wall, the little shelves.
With the little louvers on it.
Back when I was an economics Labrador Retriever, we were putting Fly Tech in those left and right in some of the QSR places. It did a decent job. And then along comes Max Force. So, with Max Force, not only can you do that, but you can also dissolve it in water and paint it on surfaces, which was absolutely cool. And and again, it did the job. But come on, let's face it, it's still a mess when you do that.
Yeah.
So and even still, you could use this. It was even labeled for a little, for limited scatter. You could do it that way. It did a pretty good job, but it didn't. That was for outdoor places like windowsills, things like that. Didn't have a really wide, like a wide food service label. And then all of a sudden, the clouds parted, and Bassif, our good buddies at Bassif, delivered Alpine.
Oh, I fucking love that stuff, man.
Like a shaft of light coming from the heavens above. Alpine fly spot bait in particular. This stuff, I got to tell you, Jack, I've got a can of it. to take your phrase, I got a can of it. I applied this shit on a windowsill in my kitchen because my dog is definitely afraid of flies, right? Poor Max. Anybody that knows him, he's a little black, Chihuahua pug mix, and he's just the most cutest, smartest boy ever. He's got those teeth.
So does that make him a chug? Does that make him a chug?
It does make. He is absolutely a chug, and he's not in the room right now. I think he's just tired. He's getting older. He used to enjoy laying here with me when I did the podcast, but not so much anymore. Anyway, I digress. But anyway. We rescued him. We assumed that he had a big, hey, ladies from Pestrogen.
Hey,
we had a, it's FWIEND because that can only be Jenny. So he definitely, we assumed we rescued him. That's definitely Jenny with the teeth. That we assumed that he had problems with flies. He was in a bad, he was maybe in a garage or a really filthy room, and flies plagued him. So he's been really afraid of him, and he gets a little unhinged. So I brought some of that in. And I would put it on the windowsill in the kitchen. They always gravitated towards it at night. I get up the next morning, those flies were dead. Dead. I mean, and I've seen places it takes maybe 20 some seconds for them to start dying, doing that breakdancing thing, And I've just been impressed with it. Well, the last time I applied it on my kitchen windowsill was last October, just before cheese stock, I believe. And like last week we were killing flies. This week we're killing flies. That stuff is still there. I mean, it's got an amazing residual. Of course, I keep a fairly clean kitchen, but so it's going to stick around. But I was okay, Jenny. We get it. I've been really impressed with Alpine, and it's even done as good a job in my house in restaurants as it's done in my house.
Man, I that stuff. Sorry, beer burp. I was out back grilling at the old house, and hey, look at that,
Brando.
I was at grilling the old house, and flies were. Next door had some nasty trash shit going on, and the flies were getting thick. And I had a can of that stuff. I went out to my truck, and I kind of spritzed it around the outside of the door jamb, which is what I would do at like a restaurant service. The outside, the back door outside to the kitchen, between the dumpster and the service entrance. I'd put some of that stuff because fucking flies will hang out, wait just outside the door jamb, wait for you to open the door.
Oh, hell yeah!
But I'd sprayed that shit on the fucking door jamb, and I tell you, those flies can break dance better than that Australian chick at the Olympics. I mean,
yeah. I don't know, man. She was pretty good.
It was entertainment just sitting there watching them land on it, and they're good for a minute or two. Then they just kind of shake a little bit, and then they drop, and they do the little backspin thing. I was
trying their wings are beating around. It's almost like they're levitating in circles because their wings are like they're twitching and shit, and it's raising them up from the surface. So it does. It actually looks like they're floating above the surface in a death spiral.
I was wanting to find the song Tour de France back from the breakdance days, from Kraftwerk, and play that while they're going do 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 or something like, or beatbox from the Art of Noise or something like that. Some good old 80s.
Man. Oh God,
I do love that.
But
shit.
Anyway, it's so much cleaner too. They're with such good with such good a product always comes a sacrifice. I would say out of every 6 or 7 cans you get that one that just doesn't want to work.
Yeah,
and it clogs the fuck up, and you can't get it unclogged for shit. But the good folks at Bassif are always understanding, and they will take any malfunctioning can back and credit you, or give you swap it out for another can when you go to Saris or what have you.
Nice. Well, I mean, good service, and good shit's good shit, man.
You got that right.
For sure.
You are not wrong. So, but yeah, as far as flies, right now, I mean, the flies are starting up, but it's May. Talk to me in like August, September. Yeah, you want flies? Yeah, we got flies, but nothing like a good preemptive strike. Everybody knows probably the best way to keep flies away from a fucking establishment is tell that fucking establishment to keep their fucking establishment fucking clean. I mean,
close your legs, lady.
Oh, close your legs so they don't fly home. But you know what? I mean, but that's easier said than done. So you got to have some shit at your arsenal, Jack. Any type of residual or anything like that? What did you ever use? Besides the usual fly bait. Anything that you found to be effective in the treatment and or control of said flies?
I know what I use. I'm not sure if it was on the label at the time or not. So, but that was me. But I would do dumpster area paddock services, like the fenced in dumpster area, and treat the area with like suspend. And
Polyzone or SC?
SC.
Okay.
Yeah. But we did have the Alpine, so I started getting I'd flip open the dumpster lid and start getting right on the edges of that dumpster lid. But sometimes you just have to tell them, you got to get your guys out there with a damn power washer and clean that entire dumpster paddock area. I mean, they got grease pouring all down the sides and shit. And sometimes they had the little grease trap thing in the same dumpster paddock, and that thing's just leaking all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I always hated that because I wouldn't think about it, and I'd set my service bag on it and to check a rodent station or deal with flies and stuff like that. I'd go grab it and be like,
"Oh yeah."
Finally, was like, "Fuck." And then I go inside to do the service. I go in the ladies' room, drop the diaper station down, and set it on there.
That poor kid.
Yeah, right. Hey, you got wipes in your bag, lady. Just wipe that stuff down.
It's like doing pest control in a peep show. The floor is sticky.
Yeah. Peep show, the sticky floors in the peep shows. Damn.
Yummy.
Brandon says that it's great for rodent bags when there's captures. Yeah, I can see that. Open it up, pop it back down.
My chat isn't scrolling, or I would have been staying on top of the comments that are coming through. I apologize, but
mine was working. I'm just not paying any fucking attention to our guests. Hey, yeah. How was everybody doing? Brandon, Mario, and Zippy's Pop, and
Demand CS with sugar. Somebody used at one time.
I did not know that. My jam was always either Demand or Suspend Polyzone. The reason I had an affinity towards Suspend Polyzone, and I was also, and besides the fact that I think it worked fairly well,
right?
Was the fact that when I heard about when they first brought Polyzone out and somebody was talking about it, they were discussing the fact that they tested it over in like Africa or whatnot, and they were actually dipping mosquito nets in this Polyzone shit and letting them dry, and putting them around, and it was murder on them. No mosquitoes were getting through them. The mosquitoes would land on them and it would kill it.
Damn.
So that's stuff that you could get away with in Africa, but here in the good old U.S. of A., that's kind of shit they don't let us do. So.
Well, that's why you have to go with one of those do-it-yourself pest control things where they send you the little tiny bottle and you spray it yourself. That's what the world's coming to.
Yeah, you're talking about the one that rhymes with bestie.
yes, that's what I'm talking about. There's a couple of them out there now.
Oh yeah, everybody's kind of on they're kind of bandwagoned in on that stupid pesty shit. So.
That's right. Kill them pollinators, you dumbasses. What the fuck?
And then blame it on the professionals.
That's right.
The semi-professionals. We're professional in name only.
Tell you, I got some good stories over the week. Speaking of pesty besties, Candace Norquist submitted a story for us. She said, "So here's my fly story for you. Flies are flies. Nothing usually to get grossed out over, too bad. But this was a different story. One beautiful August afternoon, Brandon and I were doing monthly service at the apartment complex. As we were webbing a townhouse building, I noticed that all 4 windows from one unit had 20 to 30 blowflies per window. I told Brandon to come see. We went to the property manager on site and had her come back to it as well. We knocked on the door, and the woman, and I use that term loosely as no woman would raise her 5-month-old in that, said that they had their water recently turned back on and they had the flies under control, so she wouldn't let us in. Mm-hmm. Well, we had the management serve a 48-hour notice for us to enter. Upon entering, you could taste the heavy air and see the bleeding walls of filth. Used adult diapers stacked 4 feet high in numerous rooms. This wasn't a case of mental illness. This was pure laziness. 4 adults in that house, and no one could figure out why the flies were so bad. I would think that having big diapers full of turds all over the place would be a little bit of a giveaway. I mean,
I would think so too.
I can't figure it out. Dude, you got your shitty pants on the floor. We scheduled treatment and got it taken care of. They were moved to a different unit on the property, and I'm sure they're going to do it again. We always check their windows and make sure it doesn't start up again. The amount of filth, stupidity, and flies were all astronomical. We actually got to go in the unit after they moved out, and the brown hardwood floors were covered in large black speckles everywhere. Even after we killed all the flies, they still didn't clean. Disgusting. The fuck is wrong with people?
I am appalled, Jack.
Oh, just speaking of Scotty Grill, there's a story coming up, and I'm trying to call you out for next week on the podcast, Scotty. We want to get you on the show next week.
Yes. You just saved us a message. Yeah, what do you say? Come on the show with us, brother.
Yeah, man. We'll talk about your life in the industry, talk about your music, everything.
Jack, I'm gonna send you a little code message here now.
Okay.
Yes. The Lion of Australia is a go.
Oh.
So just leave it at that.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
It just came through. More for the rest of you. More news to follow.
That's right.
Jack, kill some time. I'm trying to find my story here.
Well, while he's looking for the story, I want to make sure I tell you about this beautiful Tony Spangler tumbler. This one is the Phantom
doing that already.
Termiticide and insecticide. It's got a beautiful rubber bottom. It's double wall steel. I've got some cold water in this one right now, but
I got nothing in mine. Yeah, Phantom Plus.
Yeah, yeah.
You should put like a plus. Take a Sharpie and put a plus right there. But mine currently, I was kind of hoping Jack would talk a little bit so I could run and get a bottle of water to refill this because I have already drank all of my chaser. But you know what? Every bit of it was as cold as the day I put it in there because Tony Spangler tumblers are double insulated steel. The ice stays in there I've had it in there for 48 hours. I can still hear this shit when I picked it up. So it's incredible. And of course he did cover that.
Go rub some water. I can rub my mouth. That's fine. That's not.
Run your mouth, brother.
Well, I'm going to tell you about some flies. I used to have to do pest control on Sundays for this chicken processing plant. That's all I'm going to say about it. They'd run 6 days out of the week, and then Sunday they'd shut down for cleaning. They had a break room at the front of the building, and it would gather. They leave the doors wide open to the outside, the doors, into the break room, which is right off the outside door. They'd take the blood from the chickens and they would spread it on this field behind the building. So the amount of flies that were drawn outside of that field was redonkulous. And we'd have to take cans of 565 and herd the flies out of the damn break room, out of the little cafeteria area. And the problem is that none of those assholes could put fly lights up at the right level. They'd always put them too damn high. I don't know why they do that
like
shit.
8 to 10 feet high.
Right. When you damn near have to get like a step stool. You got to get on a little step stool to change the fucking glue boards in them.
Oh, definitely. Rule of thumb is like 4 to 6 feet, something like that.
Yeah, I figured if it's just below my eye level, somewhere between my chin and my nipples. That'd be
your chipples.
Between my chipples. That'd be the optimum place to put one.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd have it like up here, and I'm like, you're not doing any fucking good.
Yeah, and, absolutely. The only good it did was that it would save them from having to replace it if somebody mashed into it. It's like, we don't want to keep buying them, so we're just going to put it up here where it don't fucking work. But we're up to our audit guidelines by actually having it here. It's not going to do a fucking thing, but we're going to, I get it.
It's ambient lighting. It's all just for the ambient lighting.
That's right. It's mood lighting for the employees.
Right. But I was talking about the cafeteria at the chicken processing plant. We'd have to take like cans of 565 and herd the flies out because behind the building, they'd take all the chicken blood and they'd fertilize these fields behind the building with chicken blood, and the amount of fucking flies it drew was ridiculous. So,
no, shit, I bet.
God.
I used to do this. We used to do this hippie food plant out in Cambridge City, Indiana. It's no longer there anymore. I can say it. It was called Really Cool Foods. I did it for Economics Laboratory Retriever. And they had a really bad fly problem in their what was it called, the bad food section, where they would, like expired chicken, turkey breast, things like that. Okay. They would they would throw it in a dumpster, and then somebody would come up, pick it up, and feed it to pigs or whatever, or turn it into dog food, what have you. The flies out there were horrendous, and this was an organic, pure earth type, blah blah blah, and we couldn't apply any pesticides inside this building. My district manager, who was not known for his flashes of brilliant ideas, actually had a flash of a brilliant fucking idea. And so we got 2 5-gallon buckets, filled them with the hottest water that we could get out of that facility, and put rock salt in them. We stirred it up. We took that rock salt and we just douched everything with it. It changed the moist areas where the flies were laying their eggs to the point where the larvae would not survive.
Oh, damn.
They all died. The flies stopped. I mean, we'd still get some coming in from the outside, but the actual breeding areas in the little cracks and crevices and shit like that, taken care of. Yeah, just totally changed it. And I saw that again for fruit flies in a bar where they have underneath the bar, they've got the drains, all the drains, all roads lead to Rome when you're a bar drain system, and you get that one little pit right there. They filled it with rock salt and let it drain. This fucking place never had a fruit fly problem ever.
Oh shit.
And yeah, I've seen bars throw rock salt in urinals. To get, it's like, I guess, their customers' piss wasn't salty enough. And everywhere, they were also fucking diabetic. All the sugar and shit in their piss was drawing flies. So it's like,
I wish they would have done that. We had these big urinal troughs at military school. Like 5 guys could stand in front of this damn trough and piss. I wish they would have thought of that. But it's
were they up against Jack? Were they up against the wall, or were they in the middle of the floor so you had to like face each other while you were pissing?
Up against the wall, thankfully. But you ever seen those military training videos where, like, that one gun with the tracers follow the plane as it's flying? They're trying to shoot it. That's what you're doing with those little flies. It's like, trying to get them. You don't want to, you accidentally piss on, the guy standing next to you and shit like that.
But he can't be mad because he's doing the same thing in the other direction.
That's right. You don't cross the streams. Remember they say on Ghostbusters, you don't cross the streams.
Don't cross streams, no. Hey, did you go ahead, did you do the Tumblr ad to its completion?
I did not. I was waiting for you, or I was going to throw it in there somewheres.
Did you discuss about the accessories that come with it? With the
I was waiting for you. That's your wheelhouse.
That is my wheelhouse, and of course, everybody who's been seen the podcast knows I could only be talking about the one and only, straight from Tony, stainless steel urethral sounding rod. I mean, look at this. Now, I've opted for the straight one today because not only do I not have a curvature to worry about, but I was also in a hurry to get on the show. I'm not going to mention why I was in such a hurry. I will just say gall and bladder. But I'm telling you what, you could not get a more cleaner pathway from bladder to toilet than you can with the urethral sounding rod that comes with every Tony Spangler tumbler. So
clear out the detritus.
The detritus and the inhaling or exhaling. Exhaling is preferred. But to clear it out. But I'm telling you what, with the graphics, the rubber bottom, the double walled insulation, the clean urethra, there's only one place to go.
If you got peyronie's, reach for Tony Steel urethral sounding rods.
Okay. That was probably the longest Tony Spangler Tumblr ad we ever had.
Well, boys and girls, that awesome jingle comes from my boy JT Story. If you go to Facebook, he has a page, JT Story VO, for voiceover. He'll do jingles, podcast intros, as you heard at the beginning of this show and all of our other shows. He does custom intros. He's done them for Pestrogen Podcasts and for other podcasts out there. And if you go on to Instagram and check out 6 Foot Stump, that is his original music that he's been posting on 6 Foot Stump on Instagram.
Very, very interesting. A great song, and he also does. He's got a couple of great covers that I've heard as well. I don't know if they're public. I mean, he may just do them for his own entertainment, but they are really bloody awesome.
From Frank Sinatra to Alice in Chains, he does some wonderful covers.
Coldplay to everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'll Stay Away. Alice in Chains, his cover. Fuck, man.
That was my birthday gift from him, and I love it.
I love it. I would love to, and I'd love to hear it again. And it's so buried in my shit. I don't know if I got it, but anyway, I digress. Let's talk about some more stories that we've got. Brandon came through with a few. I've got, I hit him up. I said, "You got a juicy fly story for tomorrow's show?" Because we're not desperate here or anything. He goes, "Man, not really." He goes, "I recently did a house that was flipped. And I think they left a dead animal in the attic somewhere, probably raccoons, because there were hundreds of flies in the fresh new flip. And then there were maybe about 50 to 100 of them on the outside deck that went up to the second floor attic. The attic was inaccessible. I was just called out for flies so they could sell the house. There was another one in West Baltimore, or a little more west than that, where this lady had a pest control company that I'd worked for about a year, coming out every month, and her drain flies were terrible. Hundreds of them all throughout her spotless house. I was there for mice, by the way. With this being that bad, I knew there was a plumbing issue. It was a bi-level house where the left half of the house had a crawl space and the right half of the house had a basement, if that makes sense. Yes, It does. I'm in Indiana. Construction, anything's possible. I started crawling the crawl space, sure I would find something. Not only did I find tons of holes chewed through the dirty old lazy plastic barrier on the ground, and tremendous mouse evidence in the insulation, I discovered a sewage leak with tons of flies.
Yummy.
It's not always dead stuff, folks. I found it interesting that when I started getting into the crawl space, she looked at me and said, "Oh, the other guy never went in there." That shocked me a damn bit.
Well, it may not always be dead stuff, but I've had people tell me it smells like something died in me, so there's that.
Oh, hell yeah. I had one time, it smelled like egg farts in here. It's like, nah, that's because your lateral's broke. And, I'd go down in the crawl space. It's like, I'd just look in. I wouldn't go any further because the pipe's busted. There's like shit and toilet paper hanging off the end of the pipe. I was like, I ain't going in there. But I'm trying to keep from puking just looking at it, But
Andy Dufresne crawled through 200 yards of the nastiest.
Freedom. Oh, my God. That's kind of how I felt when I went back to work. I felt like Andy Dufresne just crawling through there. I finally busted out. It's like, I'm back.
They don't make enough soap for me to feel clean after that. They don't make it.
Andy Dufresne went through a lot more other things worse than crawling that, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to say the ladies left him alone after that day. That's what I'd like to say. Okay, there's another house in a town. I was there for mice. The house was a slab on grade. And I noticed the drain flies and some phorid flies and some filth flies, but mostly drain flies. Not that bad, but they said they got really bad in the summer. So I said, maybe I'll find something while I do my mouse treatment, since I do the house on my hands and knees. And when I'm done, I'll try to investigate for the problem. They kept their drains pretty clean and stuff. The garbage disposal was new because they thought it was that where you wipe under the flap. Yes.
Always wipe under
your flaps. Yeah.
Yes. You hear that? You hear that, ladies? You hear that, ladies?
But I did tell them about the enzyme products to put in the drain, and everyone should do it anyway. Invade Biofoam in the can, in the conservatory with the candlestick. No, this stuff, I mean, you put the tube in there, you fill up a garbage disposal all the way up, you walk away, say, give it a few hours, then rinse it out. You're fine. I've got a little bit more garbage disposal advice later. And with the advice I gave them over time, which they followed to the T, they never had any kind of relief, especially on hot days. So a year later, when they called me out for mice, or maybe a year after that, I'm in the kitchen. And this whole event reminds me that it was a situation, and I smelled drafts of decay and rot. but I'm not finding any signs of excessive moisture trying to follow my nose. This is another client whose realtor did not recommend a home inspector. I told them that the best bet was to get a plumber to put the camera in the sewage lines because that would eliminate the possibility of any collapsed line. If you're seeing hundreds in the summertime, this is my first assumption that they would want to knock out by process of elimination. Granted, it's like a $250 to $375 service by plumbing companies, which sucks. If they find something, which is a much bigger problem than flies. If they don't, sorry. I told him I had a home inspector who would camera the line. He's the best home inspector I ever met. I helped train him in WDIS stuff. He's real diligent. I called my home inspector buddy and said he would help him out, give a quick shot over the roof and stuff, and the camera line for $275, which I felt really generous. Getting on roofs, using this expertise, and performing plumbing service. He found multiple roof leaks, and the sewage line was collapsed.
Oh,
$60,000 later, if they ever buy a house again, I know. They're going to reach out to me and ask me who my favorite realtors are and if they're using Dan as their home inspector. I know most home inspectors suck, but like our industry, there are good, honest guys and girls out there. Brandon, thank you very much for your story. That is very true. Yeah, that's the thing about sometimes when you run into fly situations, it could mean that this might be like a rotten potato under the sink, or it could mean they need $60,000 worth of work. It's
right.
Right. Yeah.
You had mentioned Invade Biofoam. I know there's some companies that either have to tighten up the purse strings, or the guy ordering's an idiot and they don't get to have stuff like that to take care of a problem. You can either suggest to the homeowner Liquid Plumber's Foaming Pipe Snake. It is an enzyme foam. It's a dense enzyme foam. That stuff works out really well, actually. What are you giggling about?
I was just thinking about you. I was about waiting for you to say something about, if anybody wanted to see your foaming pipe snake, but I wasn't going to get it.
Well, I was getting around to my paynis. I was getting there. I was going to do it.
I didn't mean to harsh your mellow there.
No, you can rotor. No, I have roto-rootered some turd cutters with my penis. So there's that.
Yeah, okay.
But for real,
39.
But for real, the Liquid Plumber Foaming Pipe Snake does work in a pinch.
And I've got something that works that's even cheaper in a pinch. Like your garbage disposal. Grab a handful of ice cubes. Take your garbage disposal, fill it up with said ice cubes, and turn it on. It's going to sound like your whole house is falling apart, right? But it's not. What that's doing is it's grinding that ice up and it's scrubbing the shit out of the walls and those flaps and everything else on your garbage disposal as it's grinding that ice up. It's like abrasive. It just tears everything up. Follow it up with a little bit of hot water. You're golden.
I tell you,
I've
put ice on some flaps before, and it really makes the nipples stand out.
Oh, I bet it does. Some
ice on the flaps.
I don't know about getting rid of any of that nasty buildup, but
well, if there's nasty buildup, I'm probably not going to play with the flaps in the first place. So there's that.
Yeah.
So,
well, I want to say goodbye to everybody that was on the live stream chat that decided to get the hell out of here after Jack started talking about flaps. But it's been nice having you on the show. We'll see you next week. Yeah.
I got one.
Tell you what,
What's that? What are you doing?
You're going Mr. Roboto on us again.
Oh
shit!
What the fuck? Better yet?
You're good now.
Okay, Scotty Grill.
Better now.
Our good friend Scotty Grill, also known as Zippy's Pop, on the chat here, sent in a story, and I'm sorry I gave you a little emoji comment on the story. I should have responded to you, but it's been a pretty busy second half of the week. So he goes, So back when I was a kid and learning the dark arts of pest control, my old man asked a friend of his to help out with our fledgling company's termite jobs while teaching me the craft at the same time. This guy's name was Joe. Joe was a good old country boy and had a different way of looking at things sometimes. This is actually his story, but I thought it was worth repeating. So Joe came to town one day to help with the job. We had become buddies at that point and would talk about other things besides hammer drills and termites. We was all excited about a new car that he had, a Cadillac. He proudly showed me a Polaroid snapshot of him standing beside it. Me, 19 years old was my 19-year-old self was pretty impressed with it. I didn't know anyone that had a Cadillac. Then he told me how he got it. He received a call one day from the local police. Turns out that some guy drove his Cadillac off into the woods and then killed himself. By that time, what was left of his body was found. The car had filled with flies and maggots and all that other fun stuff that goes along with that. So Joe gets hired to handle this part of the nastiness. Well, I guess he saw an opportunity and somehow managed to purchase the car from the family of the guy that offed himself. Now, I don't care how clean that car got. I don't care if it was sandblasted and dipped in holy water. There's no friggin' way I would ever get in it. But not Joe. He was proud. He was a Cadillac man.
That's right. He was the wolf. Please, please, get the fucking brains out of the car. Winston Wolf. I solve problems.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that just
we both just took a refreshing drink there, didn't we?
I can only imagine in the middle of the summer, that car heats up and whatever little schmaltz that was left somewhere in the frame of the chair, just warming up a little bit, so it smells like
kind of like, man, somebody's roasting something.
It smells like someone shit vomited dog food.
Oh God, yeah. It's like Goodfellas where Ray Liotta's got the garden hose spraying out his trunk. Go home and get your fucking shine box.
Oh my God.
We have an audio story tonight, Jack. It's from my beloved cheese daughter, Jenny Wilson, from
all right.
Host of Pestrogen. So I'm just gonna line everything up here and just let her rip.
I am running behind today, so I will not have time to write out a response. So thank you, Jack and Brad, for letting me submit a voice clip here. So, story first, flies for me. When I was new to the industry, I went on a fly call. I was the third person out. It was a callback, and it was flies all throughout the house. Tons in the kitchen. So the point was I needed to figure out where they were breeding from, right? It's flies. So I did an inspection of the house. The gentleman was a doctor, and he wasn't home very often. It was a very nice condo. He was never there. So I ended up doing an inspection all through the house, and then I get to the garage, and I'm looking around. There's a trash receptacle in the garage, and I asked him about it. I was like, hey, why don't we keep this outside? They had an HOA that required them to keep it in the garage. So I pull out the bags, and there was a ton of gunk at the bottom of the trash cans, and out comes a bunch of flies, which was kind of crazy because there really wasn't that many flies in the garage itself, like dead around or flying around or anything, but they were all throughout the house. So we took out the trash receptacle. I helped him spray it out and everything, and he was a little skeptical that was the cause, but then about a week later he gives me a call and says, hey Jen, I'm tickled silly. That really was it. Thank you so much for doing a thorough job and looking. So today I listened to the Beauty and Beasties episode, and they talked about the two qualities of what a pest controller should have, and one was an inquisitive mind and discipline, and I think that really is what sparked off my love for this profession, and that was one of the first moments with that fly where I was not going to give up. I was going to find the source, and I love having an inquisitive mind and trying to figure it out. So yeah, thanks guys.
Hang up the phone.
Turn off your phone, Jenny. Well, thank you very much, Jenny, for that. Jack and I love you. We always enjoy your contributions to our show, and we're looking forward to just totally destroying yours tomorrow.
It's going to be nice, just kind of sit back and going with the flow and let them run the show. And
I felt they've had several episodes under their subspecies, so to speak, and I'm looking forward to catching up with the ladies.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be great. On their terms, on their turf, so it'll be great.
Yes, that's right. On their turds. Yep.
Hey, y'all, you got to answer to them for doing something with the turds now.
You know what? Yeah, I fear them. Because they run a tight ship over there. I've all their episodes that I've listened to, really, really professional quality. When they edit, they even have fades. Oh my gosh, Edwin, welcome to the show. I don't think this is the first time I've ever seen him here.
Edwin Valerio, good to see you, buddy.
Oh, and there's the Tater too.
Oh hell, look at that,
man! We got all kinds of different people on this week. What the fuck, Jack? I think we've arrived.
Maybe. It's
Either that we've created the illusion of arriving.
It's the bus stop in Gary, Indiana, but we've arrived.
That's right, exactly. The Greyhound station, stall 4, Minster.
I have sat at that Greyhound station waiting for a bus. The one in Gary, Indiana. Only time I've ever really been in fear for my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rough town, man.
Well, if you were waiting for the bus in Gary, you don't have to worry because Jesus just left Chicago. But he's bound for New Orleans.
The big orange trucks, the big orange 18-wheelers, that's what I was driving. I had a back spasm from having to unload an entire 53-foot trailer of cases of toilet paper that were stacked on the floor, not on pallets. And that company doesn't pay for lumpers, so I had to do it myself.
Oh, crap.
And my back was like, oh, fuck you, about halfway through the truck, and my back gave out. So, because I'll tell you, you'd figure a case of toilet paper is not that heavy. Try picking up floor-to-ceiling 53-foot trailer full of case of toilet paper. That shit gets heavy after a while.
Hell yeah.
So they put me on the damn truck, on the damn bus from Gary, Indiana, back to where I was living in northwest Illinois in Sterling Rock Falls area. So, shady town, buddy. Shady town.
No shit. No shit. I gotta say, but as far as what Jenny did, she gave Beauties and Beastlies, Beauties and Beasties a shameless plug there, didn't she?
But it's well founded. It is well.
I think so too. Yeah. I'm looking forward to talking with Alex Sean. I'm really looking forward to it. So
which one's the beauty and which one's the beastie, you think?
That's something we're going to have to ask them when we get on the show because I have no idea. So I feel like we've been asked on more shows outside the continental United States than we have in.
Well,
actually, it's tied because no, we've been on 3. Oh, wait a minute. No, we've been on 2. We've been shit that goes on our heads. And
Steal Your Podcast one.
Yeah, the 2 dudes that Steal Your Podcast that we never heard from again.
Right.
Actually, we never heard from either of them again. But what are you going to do?
We ain't for everybody.
We are a jagged pill to swallow, Jack.
That's right. Sometimes they choke on my paynis. So
that's right. Yeah, sometimes they just choke on us.
Oh well, that's all right. I love the way we are. So fuck them. I don't care.
I do too. I love us, Jack.
I love us. It's just so beautiful.
I love us. That's about the Hallmark moviest fucking thing I'll ever tell you.
I was thinking about flies and drains and stuff. I had this one lady that wouldn't go down to the basement by herself. Had a finished basement, pretty finished basement, really nice, clean house. But she started seeing a lot of flies upstairs, up in the main floor of the house.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that after her husband passed away, she would not go in the basement. She wasn't running water through the drains in the sink or the toilet or anything. And it is just, the P-traps had evaporated.
Uh-huh.
And you would get these little bastards coming up through
right.
And the basement was full of them. And they were coming up through like the vents because she had like the ceiling vents in the basement, but the floor vent on the first floor. So they shared.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And they were coming up through the vents and everything.
Oh, wow.
Little bastards.
Oh, yeah. I had one lady last year. She had flies in her basement, and she was just flipping out. She hates flies. So I get down there, and she's got all kinds of shit in her basement. I guess her daughter had moved in. All her shit was down there. The storage. But I followed the smell, and I followed the life cycle of the flies back to the dead mouse. I said, "You don't like flies? You're really going to hate this." It's like, you've got a dead mouse down here. I said, and she's just like, her eyes just turned into saucers. I was like, Heidi, calm down. I see it. Can I use that grocery bag that's sitting on the floor? Yes. I said, go upstairs, close the door. Once I get everything under control, I'll knock on the door and ask for your money. And so she goes up and she does that. I get down there. I take care of everything. I'm standing there. I've got the mouse. I've got the mouse in a bag. I've got 565 blasting, knocking down flies as many as I got. I stayed down there until, and I don't normally do this, right? But this is a special case. I stayed down there until every single fly that I saw that was flying around was dead and picked up and in that bag.
You were like running down. You were running down.
I was charging this woman a premium, right? And I was like picking them up off the floor, putting them in a bag. I knocked on the door. I said, Heidi, we're done. She goes, how much is that? And she goes, how much? I said, $600. She goes, let me get my credit card. I was like, I was there for an hour, and
damn.
I don't feel like I took advantage of the woman because she was willing to pay it. If she had balked and I tried to rationalize it, then I'd feel bad. I don't feel bad. It took a lot. It took an hour for one dead mouse and a bunch of flies. It's come on.
Speaking of mice, it's like those customers that expect you to sit, on guard all day at their house and wait until the mouse shows up
for $49.
Oh yeah, not happening. No, it's
not happening.
We'll do $49 an hour, and I'll sit around for 8 hours waiting for a mouse if you want me to. But you're going to pay.
You're a cheap date, Jack. $49 an hour? Fuck no.
I'm a cheap date.
I'm $1.50 an hour on shit like that, man.
I'm a cheap date, and I put out. So.
That's our vigil charge.
just sitting around, twiddling your thumbs and everything.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. So, Jack, what are we looking at next week?
Mr. Scotty Grill.
Oh, we are? He's a go?
God damn it.
I've been fucking working, Jack. Okay, Mr. Retired.
No, he said he was in on the chat.
Awesome,
he said he was
awesome. Outstanding. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So we're going to have that dude right there. We're going to have, and then before that, we're going to be on Beauties and Beasties. And tomorrow, we're going to be on the lovely and vivacious Ginny and Candace on their Pestrogen podcast. We're going to be on their podcast. We are not going to be on them.
Have you noticed that other pest control podcasts haven't approached us to be on? It's probably because we scared the shit out of them.
Good.
We don't.
They should live in fear of us.
They have a nice professional fact based show, and we're talking about penises and flaps.
And Jack, that's fine because we're not here to educate.
No,
we are not here to enlighten. We are here to entertain. We're here to talk about the dark underbelly of pest control.
That's right.
That none of these guys have the balls to fucking talk about because they want to talk about growing their company and they want to talk about being this good influence. They want to talk about this and they want to talk about that, and that's fine. We'll talk about. We're going to be the ones talking about the dildos under the beds. We're going to be talking about the turds that we find in alleys. We're going to be talking about the homeless people that are masturbating, in the behind the houses that we find. That's what we are here for. And
the random fleshlight in the crawl space.
The random fleshlight in the crawl space. I'm sorry, I left that there on the last stop, but I digress. This is what we're here for because these fuckers won't cover this shit. Okay, and that's fine. And Pestrogen, I am not talking to you.
Oh God, no, not at all.
No, God, no. But that's fine. If they don't want to invite us on to talk about that stuff, fine. We got no problem with that. I don't care. So
I just think it's fun.
Hopefully they invite us now because it's like I want them to. Because that's the way my life goes. Anything that I don't want to happen happens, and anything that I want to happen doesn't happen. So
we have thrown down the glove.
We have. The gauntlet has been thrown.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
But anyway, in spite of my utter contempt for them not wanting us on because of the way we are, I am still going to plug them. Let's talk for a minute about some of those podcasts. Jack, we've got Pestrogen.
We do have Pestrogen. Yeah, we got Pest Perspectives with Sean Muller.
Pest Perspective. But he's had us on though. So.
Oh, we're supposed to be working that out, aren't we? I mean, we did go on, but we did go on with Sean. I'm getting them all confused now. God damn it!
That's like the Doors and the Ed Sullivan Show. It's like Jim Morrison was like, they wasn't supposed to say, "Girl, we're going to get much higher," and then he did. And Ed Sullivan got pissed. He goes, "You'll never be on the Ed Sullivan Show." He goes, "Dude, we were just on the Ed Sullivan Show."
I'll tell you
what. We are the butt plug of the industry, and you know what? We like it. Sniff us.
I'm a fan of the back door, so it works for me.
Yeah, another good Doors song, Backdoor Man. You notice how almost everything in life kind of always circles back to the Doors.
Yeah.
They should have called themselves the Revolving Doors.
I think you got Pestrogen, Pest Perspectives, Beauties and Beasties. I've got
there's one with Pest Pussy or something. Oh, Pest Posse.
And another podcast that I'm a fan of, and I've mentioned before on the show last season, was Chicky Delta Pie. It's a great show for the millennial generation. I really enjoy it. Kaya and her co-host, which, forgive me, I'm blanking on his name right now, but it's a great show. So I really enjoy that one. So Chicken Delta Pie. If you go to our website, tftc.wtf, and go to podcasts that are worth your time, you'll find a link to their show. You'll also find Beers of War that our fellow cheese bag, Brandon, runs. That's a good show as well. So
it's a damn good show, especially if you're a gamer. It's a great show for gamers. And also, season's upon us. Things are getting hectic. The schedules are getting long. Tensions are running high. Mental health is a concern.
It is.
So I definitely want. If it's something you want to look into some good stuff about mental. How to cope with mental health and keep yourself together. Shit that goes on our heads is absolutely the podcast for you. G-Rex and Dirty Skittles are the hosts. We've been on there once. But you know what? Those ladies there will always have a soft spot in my heart because they address an issue, which is, maintaining your mental health no matter what. Right. So it's a really soothing, just listening to them talk, listening to their guests. It is an Oreo cookie for your heart. So definitely, check them out. Shit that goes on in our heads. G-Rex, Dirty Skittles. It's been a while. We still love you. So.
Most definitely. Yeah. Good shit, man.
I love podcasts. The more episodes of this podcast I do, the more I love all of them. And, it really opens up an avenue for people, especially, you don't have a time frame, it's like, oh shit, it's 11 o'clock. I got to turn on Brad and Jack and blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you want to chat with us on Friday nights, yeah, sure. You got to do that. But if you just want to listen to us on the way, if you've got a long drive to your next stop, we're there for you. All of us in podcastdom are there for you. And so that I think that's great because you can just pop in whatever you want to listen to, and you're there.
Now,
what
Brad,
a time to be alive.
Question for you, Brad.
Yeah,
the fact that we're going to be on our show and 2 other podcasts within a week's time, would you say that's an industry event?
I would say that's a major industry event.
A major industry event.
A labia majora industry event.
You had to throw the labia in there, didn't you? This show's got flaps all over the place.
That's right. Tales from the flaps.
Tales from the meat curtains.
Yeah. So I mean, we've been dubbed Tales from the Trash by somebody, but whatever. Absolutely. I think the next 2 weeks are a major industry event, a veritable juggernaut of podcasts featuring yours truly and his truly. So yeah, I would call that a major industry event, Jack.
Scotty misses your eye patch. You're gonna have to wear it for him.
My eye patch. Arr.
Yes.
You know what? I've got that Forrest Whitaker eye going now. So, I don't know. I may throw the eye patch on the other one just to kind of even it out because I'm pretty sure this is lazy eye because I had the patch on for so long. So I'll compensate. Scotty, somebody remind me next week when Scotty's on. I'll put the patch on the other side.
Is the bubble still floating around your eye?
The bubble is still floating on around my eye, but it is much smaller. I went to the doctor earlier.
Crazy.
Oh God, it is. It's a major source of insanity. I'm sitting here going, I can sit here and look at it. And last week I took it and I shook my head real good, and the bubble broke up into two little tiny bubbles. It looked like a double yolk egg.
Tiny bubbles.
Make
me happy.
Okay, good old Don Ho. Yeah, you and I and maybe 4 other people know who Don Ho was.
Like Don's a what?
Yeah, it's like and it's not Stormy Daniels. That's Don's Ho. Oh shit, Jack! Damn it, it's been a slice of heaven, man.
Always, damn it.
We are we are looking forward to the next 3 events. I'm sorry, major industry events. With again tomorrow with Jenny and Candace, and then with the Beauties and Beasties guys, Lex and Sean, and then of course ourselves to follow. A few hours later with good old Scotty Grill. So it's going to be great. So Jack, everybody that helped make this episode, thank you very much for your contributions. We love y'all, and we're out of here. So on behalf of PCHD, my favorite group, ourselves at Tales from the Podcast, Tony Spangler at SpanglerArt.com, Pestrogen, and Beauties and Beasties, and all the other podcasts out there in Podcastum. Jack and I cordially invite you to bug the fuck off.
Bug off.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Oh, thanks for listening to Tales from the Crossbase Podcast. Jack and Brad will be back next week with another great episode. TFTC can be found on almost every podcast provider available, and you can also find us on TikTok at TFTC 2.0, Instagram at TFTC Podcast, Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot Group, and our website, www.tftc.wtf. Don't forget to subscribe and share. See you soon.